There is a substantial risk of loss associated with trading forex, binary options, stocks, or equities, collectively, asset classes. Only risk capital should be used for trading. Trading in any asset classes is not appropriate for everyone. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. No representation is being made that investors will make profits, or will not sustain losses. Before trading in any asset classes, investors should consult with their professional broker, financial advisor, or financial consultant to determine whether trading asset classes is appropriate. Investors who trade in any asset classes should only do so if the capital used for this purpose represents funds that an investor can afford to lose without adversely impacting the investor's lifestyle. No trading strategy or methodology is without risk of loss. No trading strategy is risk-free, and no trading strategy can guarantee profits or freedom from losses. Investors risk losing the cost to execute any transaction, including associated commissions or fees. You should carefully consider whether trading in any asset class is appropriate for you in light of your investment experience and financial resources. Any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. None of the statements or materials in the Auvoria Prime chat rooms constitute a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell.
All right. So welcome to the Developer Insight Call for Arrow, Red Light, Green Light, and Market Makers Trend. My name is Nathan Williams. I am the developer of the softwares, and I am here to help you get set up, answer any questions about any of the strategies, about how the software works, things of that nature. All right. So before I get started, man, Dubai I'm trying to get to Dubai this year. I'm trying to get there, Renell. I am trying to get there. Dubai is high on my list. So who here needs help getting set up? Who here is new? All right, let's check it out. Who's here? I'm gonna show you guys some setups on some indices that were beautiful setups. All right, you're a newbie. All right, Renell, you need help with anything? Or you just new? You got everything set up? All right, new on red light, green light. All right. All right, you got everything set up. All right, cool. So we'll just go over it for you then. You got everything set up, so we'll go over it. Giulia, Julia. I hope that's how I pronounce that. If not, I apologize. Do you have your red light, green light, and everything set up? Renell, what do you have? What software do you have? Julia, oh, great. Whew. You got all three. The gold pass, my man. Set up correctly? All right, great. So we got two people here, so we'll go over it. Great. Been setting my dashboard. Can't seem to get you as well on my dashboard. Have NVFX. All right. New, got everything set up. Red light, green arrow. All right. So we'll go over all that. Scotty will go over all that. Congrats, Ty, my man. All right. Yeah, red light, green light, and gearbox. I just want to tighten up on the strategies. All right, great. So let me open up my VPS. All right. Yes, we'll go over to Trade Manager. There's a video. All right. My video that explains how the Trade Manager works is pinned to every group. All right. So whatever group chat you're in, go to the pinned messages. Videos are there, guys. Videos are gold. All right. Doesn't make any sense for you to struggle when all the videos are there. You have to be able to be resourceful. All right. Nothing's going to be given to you, especially not in the trading game. Especially not there. Definitely, I'll go over one candle strategy. Definitely can do that. All right. So let's do this here. Let me open up my VPS real quick. US 30 been out here giving pips. Matter of fact, it just gave a setup. Golly, how did I miss that one? Good Lord, that was beautiful too. I'll show that one to you guys. This one counter strategy is too simple, guys. If you're missing out on it, you need to really reevaluate what you're doing. It's too simple. So I'll walk through exactly what that looks like. All right. So let's go here. All right. Yeah, started to give out pips today. Pips, I tell you. All right. You're in gold sales. Congrats. Going through all the pinned videos now in the bag check, starting with 121.22, going back on the order blocks. Nice. Up 60 pips on gold. All right. Nice. All right, so let's go here. Let me share my screen. All right. So I'll walk you through each strategy very quickly, each software, and then we'll get to the strategies. Like everybody's pretty much set up, so I don't need to go in depth on the actual software themselves. All right. So the AIMM softwares. All right. The AIMM softwares. You got to see the logo. All right. They are AIMM softwares are an ecosystem of softwares for traders of all levels. All right. Now, what do I mean by all that? Of traders of all levels. I'll explain. All right. First of all, you have red light, green light, which is for beginners and scalping. All right. So red light, green light is an indicator for beginners and is a scalping indicator. All right. Which means you're looking for anywhere from 10 to, say 25 pips. All right. Next, you have arrow, which is for intermediate traders. And your scalping, intraday, swing trading. All right. So you do everything with arrow. It's for intermediate traders. All right. You can scalp, you can intraday trade, you can swing trade. Intraday, scalping, quick trade. You're in there hour, 2 hours less. You're looking for 10, 30 pips. All right. Gold, you might be looking for 50 pips. Indices, you're looking for, 200, 300 pips. Intraday, you're looking for a same day trade. You're holding a little longer. So on Forex pairs, you might be looking for 50, 60 pips. On gold, you might be looking for 75 to 100. On indices, you might be looking for 500 to 1,000 wow. 1,000 wow is 1,000 pips. All right. And then swing trading is what QB Stu is doing. He's looking for 300 plus pips. All right. When it comes to his AUD NZD trade. All right. He's looking for, big moves, for long periods of time. So that's what swing trading is. You might be holding trades for a day. If you get the right move, you might be holding trades for a week, might be holding for 3 weeks. All right. And then, of course, the last but not least is market makers trend. All right. Market makers trend is advanced. It's for advanced traders. And it's for advanced and what I call institutional setups. All right. So market makers trend is for advanced traders, and you're marking up the charts from an institutional setup standpoint. All right. Which means that you can scalp, you can intraday trade, you can swing trade, all based on your strategy from an institutional level. So market makers trend is for advanced traders. All right. I'll show you how they all work together, because you can use market makers trend to make life simple. All right. So that's what AIMM softwares are. All right. It's an ecosystem of softwares for traders of all levels. All right. So let's start it off right. Let's go with my favorite pair, G to the J. All right. And we will pull up what? We're going to pull up red light, green light. We'll start off with a beginner and work our way up to experience. All right. So here is red light, green light. All right. I'm not going to talk about the settings just yet. We're just going to show red light, green light. All right. So red light, green light. Here we are. Let's go on here and get a little more. All right, there we go. So you see from red light, green light standpoint, you can see it's been an uptrend. Got this buy from yesterday. That bad boy ran up 50 pips right there. That's a 50 pip move. This move right there is a 60 pip move. This move right here is a 45 pip move. This sell right here was a 59 pip move, and then now I just get a buy. Now I just get it buy. Be great to take this buy, but it's what? It's the end of the day. All right. Now, you need to be utilizing red light, green light on your RDP, your remote desktop. Do not utilize red light, green light in the back office. All right. Why? When you use your VPS in the back office, it does not give you all the functionality that the remote desktop does. So for example, I can't use my chart shift. So therefore, I'm going to have stuff behind the red light, green light screen here, the red light, green light, the actual indicator itself. All right. This right here is chart shift. All right. This right here. Hit that button, it shifts it back. All right. I can also take this little triangle right here. People that don't see this triangle, I can push it back so that I can see more of the chart. See that? You have to be on a remote desktop. You cannot do this from the VPS in the back office. Plus, Auvoria Prime tells you and recommends you not to use the actual RD, RNC is what it's called. All right, or VNC, I'm sorry, VNC. They recommend you to use the RDP because you have better clarity and more functionality. All right. So this is red light, green light here. All right. Red light, green light is simple. The tool itself right here tells you if you're in a buy trend or sell trend. If it says green light, you're in a what? You're in a buy trend. All right. If it says red light, it means you're in a sell trend. All right. Now, when you're in this trend, all right, that means just letting you know that you need to be waiting. You're waiting for a buy entry. We got one. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. We got a buy entry. If you got in this trade, you would be up 3 pips right now. Be up 3 pips right now. All right. It gave a buy entry. Green light, buy entry. All right. That's it. You don't need to worry about the lights, really. It just lets you know what you're looking for. Green light means that when the next signal comes out, it's going to be a buy trade. If it's red light, next signal that comes out and the signal is here, it's going to be a sell trade. Well, guess what? The buy trade came out. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. That's it. When you get the sell, when you get the buy trade, you take the trade. Right click on the black of the screen, go to one-click trading. You got this up here, hit your buy or your sell. That's it. Hit it. All right. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and hit it. Buy. I'm going to use this 0.01. So I'm going to use very little risk. All right. 0.01. As you see here, it lets us know we're down 1.4 pips right now. There's a pip counter right underneath the pair. So it tells you how much you're up or how much you're down. All right. That's another feature there. Also, as you can see here, I got red lines. I got green lines. All right. What are those for? I got red lines. I got green lines. What are those for? Well, go here. One-click trade. I'm sorry. You right click on the black of the screen and you go to indicators list. It'll bring up the list. Double click on red light, green light, come to inputs. On inputs, you'll see a few settings. Your trend logic. T1 and T2, we'll go over that in a second. Right now, I'm going to show you what those lines mean. You got take profit 1, take profit 2, stop loss. All right. So let's say I have my stop loss at 20 pips. I got my take profit 1 at 20 pips. I got my take profit 2 at 40 pips. I hit OK. When I got that set, boom, 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 look at it. There it is. There it is. Let me zoom back out. Now it's set. Pull that back. All right. Now, this is my TP1, the first green line. Here's my TP2, the second green line. And this is my stop loss. If I pull it back here, like so, to this red line, 20 pips stop loss. It tells you exactly where to put it at. Now you don't have to guess. It's showing you exactly where to put it at. If I click on the entry line right here, the green line, I click and hold and I drag it up, boom, 20 pip take profit. If I pull it up some more, 40 pip take profit. It's exactly where the lines are at. All right. So now you got it set. You know exactly where to set everything to. All right. That's what those lines are there for. All right. That's it. That's it. And these lines are only going to show on the current entry. All right. Only show on the current entry. But you can see on the other pairs, look at this. Your entry, the sale here, you got in on this candle. That first drop right there was 62 pips. That's a winner. 1-0. All right. Go find the next one. Look at this here. Boom. Entry would have been next candle. Now, just so you guys know, when the entry pops up, it's going to pop up when that candle closes, which means you enter in very next candle. All right. This run up right there, 46 pips. This run up on this candle right here. Little pullback, 4 pips. And it ran up 63 pips. This one right here, pull back, 10 pips. That big run up right there, 50 pips. 50, 60, 40. Just yesterday alone on the 5-minute chart, it gave you 150 pips. 150 pips it gave you yesterday. 1, 2, 3, all winners. 4 today, winner. Another 62 pips. You're 4-0 in the last 2 days. These two right here, depending on your stop loss, that's a 27 pip stop loss. I'd still be in those trades. Those are winners too. This one right here, dropped 21 pips. Oh yeah, I'm still in those trades. Those are winners. This buy right here ran up 21 pips. Nice little scalp. This sell right here had a little pullback of 15 pips, and then it dropped 64. Winner. Another buy. And you haven't lost a trade yet. 20 pips. Remember, you're looking for 10, 30 pips. Any more is great. 27 pips. I ain't lost a trade yet, guys. Little pullback, 10 pips. Runs up, 78. I don't even need to measure that one. It was barely any drawdown on that one. 37. I ain't lost a trade in 3 days. These you might still be holding, but next day they go up. Barely any drawdown. I mean, for the most part, you might have a 26 pip drawdown. Not bad. All depends on your stop loss. I trade a little differently, so I'd have mine. But I mean, for the most part, you're winning. All right. It's telling you how many your pips are at, and you're good. All right. Real simple. So recommended time frame is there is no recommended time frame. There, you guys ask all these what's the best time frame? There is no cheat code. You find out what time frame you trade on. You want to trade on a 5-minute? Trade on 5 minute. What I recommend is, like I talked about in the last call, these are all back testable, which means you can go back and just scroll back and see how they played out. And if you like, all right, cool. I like the 5 minute. As long as I have me a 30 pip stop loss, I'm good. That's about what I would have on this 5-minute time frame for what I'm seeing. If I had a 30, 40 pip stop loss max, and I have all of them gone over 40 pips for the most part, but if I have me a 40 pip stop loss and a 40 pip take profit, 1-to-1 ratio, I'm good. Look at these winners. Look at these, man. Look at these. Look at that. So do I like the 5-minute? Yeah, I like the scalp. This is what I tell you. If you want to scalp, you need to use the 5 or 15 minute for Forex pairs. All right. And then for indices and gold, 1 and 5 minutes. Those are my recommendations when it comes to scalping. I don't swing trade. I don't intraday trade. I can catch 1,000 pips on a 1-minute chart with indices. So that's all I really need. All right. There is no recommended time frame. Some people win on the H1. Some people win on the H4. Some people win on the M30. It doesn't matter. Take the trade. We talked about that. Look at this here. This thing ran up, 180 pips. Before this big pull back here, it ran up 163. Look at this here. It's the H1. This one right here, 8 pip drawdown, and it ran up 57 pips. It doesn't matter. There is no recommended time frame. It's whatever time frame works best for you. All right. Now, last but not least, what is the difference between T1 and T2? All right. If you have to ask that, I'm a little frustrated because you did not take the time to watch the videos. The video walks you clearly through T1 and T2. You should be watching the setup video and how to use video. All right. Let's go back to it. Indicators list. All right. There's videos in the back office. You guys always want videos recorded. They're there for you. All right. They're there for you. T1 shows you both the trend entries and counter trend entries. T2 will only show you the entries for the trend, the overall trend. So for example, as you see here, the overall trend as of late, these last, 3 days has been what? Has been an uptrend. All right, so let's do this. Indicators list. Right now you see what? Buys and there's one sell. So we'll come up in here, we'll change T1, we'll change it to T2, we hit OK, we hit close. All right. Now you see what? Now you see that buy. All right, it's all based on the trend, whatever the trend is. All right, the overall trend. Overall trend used to be a sell. We got the sell there. There's less with T2. So if you're using T2, you see that there's less trades, but look at those trades. They pan out very well. All right. Now we're in the buy because the overall trajectory has changed into a buy trend. That's why that one's showing. So that's the difference between T1 and T2. If you haven't set on T2, you might not see very many trades, but the trades you do get will be more accurate because they are with the trend. So if you're trading, if you're brand new to trading, I recommend T2 so that you can trade with the trend. All right. Next, we'll go look at Arrow. All right. So next we'll look at Arrow. All right. Arrow V 4.1. Now, some of you guys ask, well, Nate, man, it's supposed to be Arrow 5.0. Arrow 5.0 is not the name of the new software. Arrow 5.0 is the name that I gave when we came out with new opportunities, new softwares for Arrow. So Arrow's got a whole bunch of new softwares that it brought out to help make trading Arrow easier and more fun. We'll talk about those. All right, so Arrow, what's Arrow? As you can see here, Arrow, you got green zones, you got red zones. Arrow is a visual representation of what the market is doing. All right, therefore giving you a high probability, a chance to see what the market may do next. Green zones means what? These are support zones. Price comes down to them, bounces off, heads up. It's support, the floor. Red zones are resistance or the ceiling. Hit the red zone, bounced off in the opposite direction. All right. This gray area here, the gray shaded area that happens at the same time every day, that's the money zone. 80 to 85% of all money traded in the Forex market is traded during this 12-hour time frame. Therefore, this is what? This is probably the best time of day to trade. That's why it's called a money zone. This is the best time of the day to trade. All right. The blue line is just a visual representation of where price is going. As you see here, blue line is moving up overall. Price is moving up overall. If the candlesticks are above the blue line, they're green. All right. It means they're in an uptrend. So again, the candlesticks are colored now with green. You see here, here's red light, green light. You see these are red and green. But you see here, majority green, majority red, majority green, majority red. All right. It's a visual representation of the trend. So you can see the strength of the trend is up. All right. And then of course the pip counter down here tells me what? It tells me I'm in this trade. It's green, therefore I'm in a buy. If GBP JPY was showing red, then that means I'm in a sell. All right. And I'm down 3 pips. So if I got multiple trades on, it will add up all those trades and let me know how many pips I'm in profit overall. All right. So as you can see here, what? We've got more green zones than red zones. 5 green, 2 red. That means what? The overall trend is what? Is up. It's telling us it's up. Stair step up. So if we have more green zones than red zones with Arrow, we should only be looking for buys. If you're experienced and you know how to counter trend, you know how to trade against the trend, then kudos to you. All right, you put in the work and the time to get there. If you're new, trade with the trend. All right, please trade with the trend. Do yourself a favor and give yourself a higher probability chance of winning. All right. The number one strategy with Arrow is bag, bounce, arrow, go. So if what? If the trend is up and it bounces off a green zone, like here, and you get an up arrow, you get into the trade. That's a bag entry right there. Boom, you're in on this candle again. This arrow pops up on this candle when this candle closes. This is the 15-minute chart. So boom, you get in this candle. When this next candle here, that move up there right there is 100 pips. That first move is that one candle with 20 pips. Look at that. Let's go back. Let's go look at that. Let's go look at that. If you're just scalping, that bag entry right here, it bounced off, came down, bounced off, arrow pointed up, it shot out the zone, no drawdown. You got in here, in 15 minutes, you had 22 pips, no drawdown. You scalp in and out. And if he held it, well, look what it did. It ran on up. All right. Where your stop loss at? Stop loss below the low. Or if you want to be a little more safe, below the zone. So you can get in here, stop loss below the low, 26 pips. You know, in a matter of an hour, it ran up 36 pips. It had no drawdown. So once it ran up 20 pips, you could have moved your stop loss into profit and been good. There are 11 strategies with Arrow. I'm not going to go over them all. That's number one. All right. And then last but not least, let me pull it out, is my favorite. Where GJ at? Boom. Which is market maker's trend. Now, market maker's trend is an indicator, but the indicator is coded as an expert advisor. So you have to go to expert advisor to find it. Why? Well, let me put it on. All right, make sure you got all 4 selected. Hit OK. Make sure your auto trading button is on. Make sure you got the smiley face in the bottom. All right, market maker does one thing and one thing only. All right, it tells you when the new market maker trend started. Boom, you can see that. Look at that. Let me let this person in here. On March the 7th, the market maker buy trend started. Now, the trends only show up at the beginning of a new day. So when this day started here, March the 8th, March the 7th was a Sunday. So on March the 9th, on a Monday, is when market maker buy showed up here. So literally from this day, the 9th through today, which today is the 15th, you've had 6 days to buy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We count that day as well. 5 days, I'm sorry. We got a weekend, I apologize. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You had 5 days of buying. 5 days of buying. All right, that's all it does. It's got a 200 moving average on here. All right, so for me, I like to mark up charts from an institutional standpoint. Not gonna go through that. In the videos, if you watch them with market maker trend, I go over order blocks and imbalances and how to draw them up utilizing this tool. All right. Now, before I show how to combine them together, let me check the chat real quick. All right. Check the chat. We got about 30 minutes left on this call. All right. I've already expressed the EA will be out end of the month. All right. End of the month, guys. So everybody wait on the EA, end of the month. End of the month. All right. So let's go over, now we've gone over all 3. All right, we've gone over all 3. All right. Beginner, intermediate, advanced trader. All right. Now, everyday trader, even if you're a beginner, here's how we put them together. Let's start talking about market maker and Arrow. Let's say that you got 2 subscriptions. You have Arrow and market maker. If you have those 2 together, they will be, actually, let me come look at you guys face to face before I talk about this. Here are how the package deals work. If you have Arrow and market maker's trend, they'll be merged together on one MT4. If you have Arrow and red light, green light, they will be merged together on one MT4. That way you can put them together. If you have all 3, then you will only have Arrow and red light, green light on one MT4, and then you'll have market maker's trend on another MT4. Why? Because red light, green light, and market maker's trend are what? They are, what do you call it? They are both going to be, expert advisors. So having 2 expert advisors on the same MT4 is a no-go. That's why they're separated. All right. That's how it works. All right. So what is the strategy for EA with it? I'm not talking about EAs. EA launches end of the month. When the EA launches, I'll talk about the EAs. Right now, we're only talking about the indicators. All right. Can you more about M's and W's and wedge strategy? We may or may not have time for that, but if we do, we'll go over that. All right. Thank you for explanation. That's exactly the way I have it set up. Thank you for helping with that earlier. And no problem, man. No problem. All right. So let's go back into the charts. All right. I'm going to show you Arrow and market maker's trend together and red light, green light, and Arrow together. All right. And we'll go over the 1 candle strategy. And then if we have time, we'll go over the M's, W's, and wedges like you asked. All right. So let's go look at my favorite pair, GBP to the JPY. I caught a nice little bag on this last night. So if I come in here and I add market maker's trend, oh, forget it. We already got it open. All right, we got market maker's trend on this one here. If I come in here and I add Arrow to it, all right, boom, boom, boom. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, it's telling me what? It's telling me to buy. You're in a buy cycle. So that means I'm only going to take the buy. All right, the buys. All right, bounce. I got a buy arrow. I go. Stop loss below the low down here. That thing is up. 190 pips. All right, H1's maybe a little wide for people. So let's go down to the M5 like I was on in the beginning. All right, we know that we're only looking for buys for the last 5 days. Let's go count all the buys. Scroll back, scroll back, scroll back. There it is, market maker buy. All right, we'll come here. We'll look at just the last 2 days. All right, bounce arrow go inside the what? Inside the money zone. Draw down 7 pips, ran up 61 pips. Today, bounce arrow go inside the money zone. All right. Draw down 11 pips. It ran up 84 pips. There are other strategies as well. And you know what direction now to trade them in because market makers trend is telling you the trend is a buy trend. All right. That's it. That is it. Now, let's go look at arrow and red light, green light. All right. Let's go look at arrow and red light, green light. So here's arrow. Let me delete this here. Let me come in here. Let me add red light, green light. And we'll go over the 1 candle strategy. It's the most powerful strategy I've ever seen, guys. People are winning with this left and right. If you cannot figure this one out, this may not be for you. I'll explain why. This is how simple it is. All right. The rules are so simple. If you cannot figure it out, again, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Trading may not be for everybody. You know, that's a realization that everybody has to figure out for themselves. But this is how simple it is. All right. So before I even get to it, let me pull this out here like that. Let me go over the rules. Let's go over the rules for the 1 candle strategy. All right. Shout out to Jackie for putting these together. All right. The 1 candle strategy. All right. There are 3 different types of entries for the 1 candle strategy. All right. And here they are and with their importance. All right. Most powerful. So the most powerful one is same candle. All right. That's the most powerful one. Most accurate. All right. Number 2 is side by side. All right. And then number 3 is one candle apart. Cool. All right. Those are the 3. All right. Yeah, I mean, you know, sharks are you know, it's no offense to anybody. You know, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but you know, trading is not for everybody. You know, and if there's some things that are so simple that if you know, it may not just be for you. If you can't figure it out or can't get it, it may not be for you. And there's nothing shame about that. I mean, trading is not for everybody. There's a reason why most people don't know the Forex market is the largest financial market in the world. People think it's the stock market. It's just education. If you don't want to take the time to educate yourself, whatever it is might not be for you. Like for me, you know, dancing is not for me. Singing is not for me, but I'm a halfway decent trader. But I put the time in. I didn't put the time in to dancing. I didn't put the time into singing. So let's look at it. All right. So again, same candle, side by side candle. Let me just go ahead and put that in there. And then 1 candle apart. So side by side candle. Hey. All right. Those are the 3. All right. So let's go look at it. All right. We know we're in an uptrend. Green light's telling us, again, the difference between market maker's trend and red light, green light is market maker's trend is going to tell you the overall market maker's move. Red light, green light will change from green to red back and forth, and it will let you know the short-term moves. So market maker's trend is long-term. All right. Red light, green light is short-term. All right. Hold on one minute, guys. All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, so let's look at it. Let us look at it. See if we can find one. All right. Red light, green light only shows you a down arrow, a down entry, a sell if we're in red light. So at this point, look at this. You had a what? You had a down arrow from arrow, and you had a red S from red light, green light. All right, which means your entry on this will be right there. On this next candle right here. All right, you had what? You had 14 pip drawdown, and then it dropped all the way to the zone. Now you know where to take profit at because you have a zone here that tells you where support resistance is at with arrow, 66 pips. 66 pips. That is same candle. Same candle. All right, see if we can't find another one here. Might need to go look at a different time frame. No. Let's go to the 5 minutes, see if we can find some here. All right. Not seeing any on this. Let me go to the M1. Now again, you have to be patient. These happen often, but you gotta be patient. All right. If you're expecting to have signals every hour on the hour, it's not for you. Go home. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't make any sense. Can't give you alerts every hour on the hour. Let's go look at the pair. Matter of fact, I'll show you guys indices. You guys love to see indices. S&P, no, US 30. There it is. We'll go on to 1 minute. For indices, I trade on the 1 minute. All right. They move so they're so volatile. You know, a 1 minute candle could be 500 pips, depending on the time of day. A 1 minute candle could be 500 pips. So I trade on the 1 minute to have more precise entries. I also trade slightly different. Sometimes, you know, to have better entries. All right, there's arrow. And then let's add red light, green light. All right, boom, boom, boom. We on there. Now, we just talked about this. Look at this right here. We just talked about this. Come on, come on, come on, come on. All right, price bounced off the zone. You have a what? Arrow, up arrow here. We already know the rule. With arrow, you can take 2 consecutive arrows. Bounce, arrow. If you skip that one, said, I'm gonna wait for a red light, green light entry to get the 1 candle strategy. That's fine. Wait, wait. Boom, another up arrow. All right, great. You got up arrow. Boom. Next candle is a red light, green light, buy. Now you got a arrow, up arrow, and a red light, green light, buy. This is what? Side by side. They're side by side, which means you do what? It means you buy at the next candle. No drawdown. On US 30, you had no drawdown. Literally no drawdown. And this thing ran up over a thou wow. A thou wow is 1,000 pips. That's 2,592 pips. You just caught a double thou wow before it had a big pullback. You just caught a double thou wow in a matter of 49 minutes. In 49 minutes, you just caught 2,500 plus pips. No drawdown. Side by side. So we've seen same candle. We've seen side by side candle. Now let's go back. I'm going to show you 1 candle apart because I took this trade earlier. All right. Well, before we go there, here's a what? Here's a same candle right here. Boom. Red light, green light, and it bounced. You got an arrow, you got a red light, green light. Beautiful. Little drawdown. You got in this candle here, 131 pips. That's nothing for US 30. Ran up 1,264 pips. You're still inside the money zone. Beautiful trade. Beautiful. All right. Side by side. Arrow bounced. Arrow, next candle, red light, green light, entry for the buy. Pull back on you, 156 pips, ran up 1,191 pips. 1,000 plus, 1,000 plus, 2,000 plus. That's 4,000 pips. 4,000. If you only traded inside the money zone, you caught 2,000. Outside the money zone, you're risking it. All right, you're risking it. If you want to risk it for the biscuit, that's on you. I don't like to be risky. I like to take precise trades. Maybe it was Nas. Let me go look at Nas 100 real quick. I think it was Nas. Nas, I believe, gave the side by side. So let's give the one candle apart. I want to show you the one candle apart so you can see all three of them. And then we will go look at something else. All right. Of course, Nas as well. 1 minute time frame. Let's zoom in. Scroll back. Where's the one I took? They're side by side right there, side by side. And that ran up a nice, little pullback for 200. Then it ran up 250. Nice little scout, nothing crazy. Where's the one? There it is. There's one. That's the side by side as well. It's the one I took earlier. Pull back on you, 160. Ran up 1,400. 1,400. So we're thou wow. I'm going to tell you guys. It's the one candle strategy. If you cannot figure this out, trading may not be for you. This is how simple it is. You just combine the two and you're waiting for confluence. Arrow is a momentum trading strategy. Red light, green light is a market maker strategy. When they combine and you have the one candlestick set up, you have a significantly high probability chance of winning. I've just shown you 4 trades on the 2 hardest pairs that people try their hardest to master. Nas 100 and US 30. They blow counts over and over again trying to master these. I just showed you 4 trades today alone that I took, others took, that did what? That all went 1,000 pips. I'm going to tell you, if you cannot get this, it may not be for you. If you don't want to put in the time, all right, those of you guys on the call, shout out to you guys on the call for taking the time to get on this call. Now you got a better understanding, and now you should see some more success. Those who don't want to get on the calls and then want to complain about it, hey, just let them know they need to get on the calls. They need to get on the calls. Obviously, I can't find, look at that, same, look at inside the money zone, same candle. Good night. 2,300 pips. 100 pip drawdown. 100 pip drawdown, 2,300 pip take profit. I don't know what to tell you. I can do this all day. I can't find one, that same candle. I can't find one where they're one candle apart, and that's fine. Let me see if I go to 15 minutes, try to find one for you guys. All one candle apart means is you got an arrow, nothing, and then a red light, green light entry. They're literally just one candle apart. M30. That's side by side. But look at that, side by side. A little pullback, 970 pips. You're just going long term, 400, 4,700 pip drawdown. I mean, take profit. So about 900 pip drawdown for 4,700 pips. So if you're swing trading, you know, you of course expecting to have a little bit more of a stop loss, bigger stop loss. That's a nice move. I cannot find one right now, guys, but all side by side is, one candle apart is, that's the one we haven't seen, is like this. You see this here is a up arrow. You got 1, 2 candles in between. Then you got the green B for the red light, green light. One candle apart, this one right here. One candle apart, number 3, is if you just had only 1 candle in between these two instead of 2. All right, that's the only difference. That's it. Super easy. All right. If this is easy, if you think this is easy, drop easy button in the chat. Easy button. Easy button, whatever you want to say. If you think it's easy, drop that in the chat. This is how easy it is. All right? Easy. As long as you got both of them together. Even if you don't have both of them together, I just showed you. Let's go look at it. Let's go look at US 30 today alone. You're like, man, I don't want to have both. I don't want to pay for both. I don't have both right now, Nate. All right, great. Indicator list. Let's take off arrow. We already shown you on GJ. GJ was killing all day, right? GJ was a killer. All right. GJ was killing all day. So let's go look at it. All right. Here is US to the dirty 30. I trade on the 1 minute. If you're scalping, you should be looking for, a couple hundred pips, 100, couple hundred pips, whatever the case may be. All right. Definitely, it's garbage time, but I'm gonna count them anyway. 247. All right. I say it's garbage time because this is Asia session. You should not be trading during Asia session. 1-0. You caught 200. 240 again. 2-0. That pulled back 200. So depending on your stop loss, for me, I'd have been stopped out because I had my stop loss up here. So that's a loss. So we're 2-1. Stop loss up here. 500 pip drop. We're 3-1. 3 wins, 1 loss. All right. 4 wins, 1 loss. Little pullback, but stop loss is above the high. 6 wins, 1 loss. I'm only using 350. I'm just looking for 200 pip moves. 7. I'm just looking for 200 pip moves. That's it. That's a scalp. It's a nice scalp. 200 pips all day. Stop loss above the high. We didn't lose. 300 plus. I'm like 8-1 now. 266, 9-1. Stop loss above up here. 466, 10-1. Stop loss above the high. Wow. 1900 pips, 11-1. 1000 pips, 12-1. Now the trend's changed to a buy trend. Stop loss below the low. That ran out, let's just say right here. 1700 pips, 13-1. 1200 pips, 14-1. Do I need to keep going through this? You might have had 2 losses right here. That's a win, 2 losses. So, I mean, what is that? 18-3. I'll take that. 17-3, something like that. So you won 17 out of 20 trades. I think that's a 85% win rate. That's just red light, green light. Oh, Nate, I don't have both together. That's just red light, green light on US 30. And on red light, green light, there is no guessing. It's just, it says buy, you buy. It says sell, you sell. You scalp 200 pips. That's a nice scalp. 100, 200 pips, get in, get out. You catch some more, great. I don't know what to tell you guys. All right. Just don't make it harder than what it is. All right. Let me go back. Can we take a buy trade when there is a red zone on top of red light, green light, arrow signal? I don't trade into a zone. I don't trade into zones. So again, the same principles apply. The indicators do not change the rules of the market. All right. Just because the indicator is accurate does not mean it changes the market. We don't trade into resistance. We don't trade into support. Don't do it. We don't trade, indices during Asia session. Why would you do that to yourself? We don't do it. We don't do it. So don't do it. All right. The recording, there's already one in the group of last week's that did. It's in the Arrow Bag chat. It's pinned to the Arrow Bag chat. You can go watch that. You can also find them in the back office. All right. You the goat and just realized how to finally trade. I'm just trying to make it simple. There's a lot of different ways to trade. All right. I just try to make simple tools so that, the average person can skip all the blown accounts that I had, all the years of learning how to trade, all the money and thousands of dollars I spent on different gurus trying to learn how to trade. The goal is to do what? Make it as easy as possible for you so you can get in, make your $500 a month if that's what you want. Make it a full-time living if that's what you want. You know, whatever the case may be. All right. A lot of easy buttons in there. Easy like Sunday morning. I posted it on my chat today. The video, the movie, that song. It's easy. All right. No, you can't expedite the product switch. I apologize. That the company doesn't allow that. All right. Can you do the same with Arrow? I like watching the wins and losses. No, we don't have time. We got 5 minutes here. Let me potentially go over the M's, W's, and wedges. Again, watch video 7. All right. You cannot have your own template. All right. The way the VPS is locked down, all right, to protect the software so nobody can steal them, you cannot create your own template. Gotta show your uncle he's retired and always bored. Hey, you have a lot of fun with this, man. You have a lot of fun with this. All right. Definitely coming to Dubai, man. I'm looking for it. All right. You came to the Dallas conference? Oh man, nice. I apologize if I don't remember the name, man. I meet a lot of people and don't remember as many. But let me go to the chart. There was one question left. We got 5 minutes left. I want to show the M's and W's on Arrow. All right, M's and W's. All right, so let's see here. Let's go to the 15-minute. We're getting our butt kicked right now. We down 8 pips. Let me close this trade out, guys. I'm down 80 cents right now. I'm messing with y'all. I lost money on this call. 80 cents. I'll make it back though. No biggie. Close. 75 cents. Close that trade out. All right. So M's and W's and wedges. All right. So we know the overall trend is up, right? We know the overall trend is up. All right. So M's, W's, and wedges. All right. So we already know what M's and W's look like. M, W, and then wedges. All right. Strategy number 7 for Arrow. If you don't, make sure you go watch the videos. Let's see if we can't find us a wedge. All right, we got a beautiful setup right here. All right. We have the downtrend. We already know the market's up. We already know the market is uptrend, right? So we have the downtrend right here. We have the zone, like so. That makes the what? That makes the wedge. Look at that wedge. Let me get rid of this thing first. Let's get rid of this thing. All right, look at that wedge. All right, price comes above it, comes back to try to retest it. We also got an arrow there, a bounce arrow go. That's a more confluence. I would feel good taking this trade even outside the money zone. We got a bounce arrow go, and it broke this wedge. It's GJ. I just went up 119 pips. Your stop loss would be below the low of the wedge. That's a wedge. Let me see if I can find an M or W because we're in an uptrend, not necessarily an M. M is for downtrends when you're selling. Nope, I don't see any. So let's go to there. We got Nas 100. Let's see if we can find some on Nas. All right, see if we can find us a W. All right. Oh man, that's beautiful right there. Right there in our face. We already know we're in an uptrend. We already know we're in an uptrend. All right. I'll explain how I know. So if you just don't know, like, Nate, how do we know? All right. We got arrow, red light, green light here. We've been in green light all day. Literally, almost the entire money zone, we've been in green light. All right. Had that sale at the very beginning in London session. Most of y'all don't trade London session. So when you woke up, we've been in the buy trend. Look at that. Leg 1, leg 2, leg 3, boom, leg 4. Also, if you zoom out, we have what? We got more green zones than red zones. So arrow's telling us we're in an uptrend. All right. W formation came up. You got a bag entry, bounce arrow go, red light, green light entry. Man, take the trade. Take the trade. You've got confluences there, multiple confluences. When it breaks the neckline right here, take the trade. And look what happens. All right. Bounce arrow go entry right there, just below. But then boom, right when it breaks above it here, you can enter in. And guess what happens a few candles later? 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes later, you get a what? A bounce. You get a buy entry from red light, green light, and off she goes. And M is the opposite. M is just a bounce. This is W is a bounce off support, the arrow support. M is a bounce off the resistance. All right. Take the trade. All right. That is it for the call, guys. Hope you guys learned something. Again, these calls will start to be 2 hours long when we actually have the EAs. I'll have an hour to go over the software itself, the indicators, and an hour to go over EAs. All right. If you want to watch the recording, this recording will be in the back office. There's already a recording in the chat. Go to the arrow bag chat, click on the pinned messages, go find it. All right. It's there. Just scroll up. It'll say developer insights. It's there. All right. So if you're going to trade for the rest of the day, make sure to trade responsibly. I'll see you guys in the funny papers.
There is a substantial risk of loss associated with trading Forex, binary options, stocks, or equities, collectively, asset classes. Only risk capital should be used for trading. Trading in any asset classes is not appropriate for everyone. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. No representation is being made that investors will make profits or will not sustain losses. Before trading in any asset classes, investors should consult with their professional broker, financial advisor, or financial consultant to determine whether trading asset classes is appropriate. Investors who trade in any asset classes should only do so if the capital used for this purpose represents funds that an investor can afford to lose without adversely impacting the investor's lifestyle. No trading strategy or methodology is without risk of loss. No trading strategy is risk-free, and no trading strategy can guarantee profits or freedom from losses. Investors risk losing the cost to execute any transaction, including associated commissions or fees. You should carefully consider whether trading in any asset class is appropriate for you in light of your investment experience and financial resources. Any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. None of the statements or materials in the Auvoria Prime chat rooms constitute a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell.